All right, guys, back to Dad's house after a few weeks off.
Couple.
I had to travel a little bit.
We'll talk about it. Talk about it.
Okay, but let's get into it. Today, it's going to be a special episode. We're going to call it State of the Market.
State of the Market address.
So what are we going to cover?
We're going to cover the economy a little bit. We're going to talk about the state of real estate in general.
And mortgage loans.
And mortgage loans, yeah.
Are refis back?
Refis are not back, no.
Are rates still about 7%?
They are, yes.
Jesus.
Yeah, we'll talk.
There's some good news, though. The Fed did pause for the first time in like 10 months or 10 meetings.
First time since the beginning of 2022, the Fed paused their interest rate.
I read somewhere that it's the first time in like 15 months or 10 meetings.
I think it's 17 months.
That they did not raise rates. So, let's see the impacts on that, the perception of that.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about a little bit about how Jose was able to step away from his business and go on vacation and not blow up his mess up his whole vacation by taking call after call after call.
My phone did not even work for the last time. Yeah. It worked when I was in the hotel, but when I got to the hotel, I went to sleep, so I was in silence.
There was a point in my career where if that had happened, I would have both enjoyed my vacation more and driven myself nuts at the same time.
Same thing with me, but you have to learn to kind of leverage out. You have to learn. And if we have some time, Dad's House, this is Dad's House podcast. One of my kids, while I was on vacation, helped me on a flip, right? You closed a flip recently, but on this flip, my kid, 20-year-old kid, made a $20,000 return on his money.
Nice.
So that was about maybe what would you say? It was right around 40% return on his initial investment. Not bad
at all. Not bad at all.
45 days.
Adopt me, man.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it. Let's start by talking about the economy in general right now. Let's first talk about this Fed rate pause. Like we said, this is the first time 17 months that the Fed has paused their interest rate hikes. And so whether people know it or not, the Federal Reserve Board controls this key interest rate called the Fed funds rate. As that Fed funds rate moves right now, a lot of other interest rates move up or down, and includes mortgage rates. They are affected by this Fed funds rate.
I'll tell you, I was excited when I read the news that they're not going to raise rate. But then you burst my bubble when I came up here and you said the pricing got worse.
Temporarily, yeah. So I looked at it actually right before I came in. It looks like there was a spike, and then that spike kind of died off before the market closed. Okay. So we'll have to wait and to see in the coming days how the market actually digests the news. But the reason for the spike was interesting. The Fed did pause, as they were expected to pause.
Sure.
To do 90% of investors out there expected that the Fed was going to pause their rate hikes. That means that they stop at the 5 to 5.25 mark for the moment.
Right.
And everybody was like, that should be good news for all of us. And what wound up happening is at the same time that they said, we're going to pause right here, they said, but we are also anticipating a couple of more rate hikes for the rest of the year.
When I read that, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't think many people were expecting for them to add that commentary, so it turned into a thing.
So I can see why, rates went up probably based on that statement.
Yeah.
I believe that if they're going to crash the market.
Yeah.
So we could start recovering and hopefully, rebuilding whatever state of the real estate market.
It's one thing to know about the Fed is that they're very calculated in what they're doing because they know every word that they utter moves markets.
They know what they're doing right now. I mean, this is unprecedented.
So to be clear, the answer to that is no, in terms of do they know the exact outcome of what they do and say? No, of course they don't, right? They're trying to do their best to push inflation down,
which they're done.
Yeah,
so it went from almost 9%, right? In May, I think it reported right around 4%.
Yeah, so I think the latest figures put us around 4% inflation.
They've done a great job.
So people will knock the Fed for not doing X, Y, and Z, but their stated intent, their mission in life is both to keep employment up to healthy levels. That doesn't mean everybody's employed, but it means there's a healthy level of employment out there.
The job numbers are good.
Job numbers are great, better than what they want, to be honest. And then they keep inflation down at around 2%.
I'm gonna use something you just said and kind of pivot this conversation.
Yeah.
Job numbers are great, you said.
Fantastic.
You know what's not great? The real estate business and the realtors leading the business.
Yeah, so job numbers for realtors not so great.
Job numbers not so great. Right. Sales are down over, I think, from the peak, which was 6.6 million in 2021 sales. I think we're going to close right around 4 million homes this year. That's a drastic move.
So I was looking at that for a class I was doing for a few of your realtors a few days ago, and that would have been the peak, and it's been steadily declining before that. But even then, even in 2021, there was already a shortage of listings on the market. So we talk about this perception of a hot market right now, and it may or may not be the case. From what I see in the numbers, it's a hot market for me means there's a lot of real estate changing hands. There's a lot of real estate changing hands. Okay. But there's not a lot of real estate changing hands.
We're down like 1.5 million homes a year.
Exactly. The numbers bear it out. There are not a lot of listings out there, but there's a lot of fever for those few listings that there are
coming out,
giving the perception of a hot market, but the market's truly not. If there was a lot of listings out there and a lot of buyers for every listing, even then yeah. But I think we have more like average number or below average number of buyers going after very few listings, and so the perception can be that it's hot.
Well, I mean, our sales organization here, we have 85, 90 agents. Not just here. I'm friends with a lot of brokers. I reach out to them. Hey, how's your team doing? How's your office doing? How's your year going? How's the first half of the, going? Across the board, everyone seems to be down between 25 to 50%. And some guys, 50, 60%.
That would push a lot of realtors out of the business.
I can see that. I can see that. Now, so it got me, I had to look up, according to licensed realtors, not licensed real estate agents, but realtors, those that have the designation with NAR, National Association of Realtors. They lost over 60,000 licensed realtors, this year so far, right? So according to the numbers they had, they have about 1.6 licensed designations. That's about a 3% loss. I'm sure if you really do the math, you start thinking about like the guys that haven't paid for the designation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I gotta imagine 5 to 7% of agents will leave the business.
Maybe more. I'm going to tell you, because what you just said is really important. You have, whether people know it or not, you don't really quit being an agent. You kind of stop being an agent.
You go get a job.
Yeah, you go get a job. Yeah. But the way you technically can be measured as having quit the business is if you don't renew that NAR designation, right? That's probably how they're counting the numbers. But I wonder how many people are just sitting on the sidelines or going to get other jobs and are either maintaining that NAR designation, but are just aren't doing anything with it, or have kind of silently quit the business.
And to be honest with you, I think that's the problem in our industry, where people come in and this goes back the last 20, 30 years. Market's hot. Everything's selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Interest rates are 2, 3, 4%. Everybody's entering the business because it's a quick buck. They learn no sales skills. They learn no systems. They don't have a work ethic. Market shifts a little bit. Like, it's always going to shift. The market goes up, market goes down.
Yes.
Bear market, bull market. It's just, it's going to happen. That said, I believe that, with the state of the market right now, with less sales, right, struggling realtors, and that includes our office, like where our production is going to be down about 25% from last year, and to be quite honest with you, actually a little bit more, because we lost some top producers. They left to whatever, they got recruited. Right. Okay, so based on that, still going to be down about 25% from our current roster. That's not a bad number, but I've been very conscious of the market. I've been analyzing, keeping tabs on what's happening, my expenses, cutting fat, cutting expenses, right, where I could, and anticipating that this was going to happen. So I was prepared. And some of these offices, like kind of have you mentioned, when they're down 50, 60%, they're going to close their doors.
Yeah.
Or they're going to sell, or they're going to go merge with, a bigger brokerage or a bigger office to kind of take the liability, and totally understand.
We were talking earlier about how, a lot of times what we say is, good realtors find a way to succeed in any market. And that's true. But even a good realtor has to adapt. They have to adapt to the market that they're in. If you're a good realtor and you have a ton of sales in a hot market, and all of a sudden the market gets really tough and you don't adapt, maybe you survive it, maybe you do okay, but you don't do what you were doing last year. And so I think that the number one, the people that we should be paying attention to the most are the ones who, regardless of what's happened to everybody else, their numbers went up. And I do know a couple of examples of that.
Sure.
Or at the very least, those folks who are able to thrive on some level in a market like this one. Those folks people we need to be paying attention.
I've been preaching it at least since November of 2022 at a business workshop that we had. You know, all our agents were there. We had like 100 agents total that showed up. And I was saying, listen, guys, it's about surviving 2023. I knew that this season was coming. I didn't think it was going to be this drastic. 0% rates, no inventory. I mean, it's a double whammy, right?
Yeah.
But with that said, I've been trying to prepare our team and our sales agents. Our numbers are still down. My production is down. So what am I doing to combat it? I'm looking for the opportunities that are out there. And my opinion is those that are consistent right now, those that are systemized right now, and those that are pushing the limit of what others around them are, you know, whether they're closing up shop, whether they're stop advertising, whether they stop recruiting, that's where the opportunity is.
Exactly.
Now, if you're an agent, maybe you don't recruit because you're an agent, you're a salesperson. You recruit buyers, you recruit sellers, you lead generate. That's your recruiting.
Yeah. What are you doing? Because there is, you know, all of that sounds like all, you know, very negative, very sour stuff and whatever. But what you just said is very, very key. What are you doing so that when this market turns around, and it will, and not too far from today, I don't think, when this market does really turn around, what are you going to be? Are you going to be there in preparation mode with your net out, waiting to catch the business that's coming because you did the marketing, you sharpened your skills, you sharpened your systems, you got in front of more people and planted more seeds that you can reap the harvest from down the road. That's the agent that is going to separate themselves in the coming market. You're going to have. Because what's going to happen, right? All of the agents that left, these 60,000 realtors.
There'll be 150,000 in this 6
I'm
months.
sure. And then how many more that are not with NAR that are licensed agents, right? So when they all come back, because they will come back, what are you going to do in that moment? Are you going to be in a position to scoop up as much business as possible when they do come back?
See, I always, and this is what, you know, you're part of our trainings as far as the realtor trainings. And me, I'm always thinking vision, and I'm always thinking 2 years, 3, 5 years ahead. I love having those type of discussions. And there's basically in my opinion, three types of agents out there right now, right? Those that are not prepared, not ready, don't know what to do, where to turn, how to handle the economy and the marketplace that we have right now.
Yeah.
Right? It could be, and by the way, that can also be an investor. They have no money, there's opportunity out there, but they're not able to make a move because they don't have no money. Okay, great. I understand that. Right now is where you double down and you systemize, optimize, get better, focus on your craft so you're ready for the next opportunity, the next time this happens.
Right.
Which will be 6, 7, 8 years from now again, right? Market will come down, we'll do great, it'll shift again, and that's when, right? The other type of agent that's out there are the ones that are like, deer in the headlights type of thing. Right? You have the guy that doesn't know, not prepared, not ready. Then you have the guy that is ready, is seasoned, has had some success in the past. But there's a deer in the headlights look where like, oh my God, I can't get an offer accepted. Oh my God, I went to 5 listing appointments and I got none of them because there's no real motivation there, or there's no real reason to sell. There isn't. You're going to sell your house and your 3% rate to go buy a property. What are the rates today?
About 7.
Yeah, you got to be very motivated or a real reason why you need to sell to make a move right now. So, sellers are less, right? You have that type of agent. Right. And then you have the third guy, I don't want to say it's me, but I think I'm there, where we're looking for opportunity. Mm-hmm. We're looking for the loopholes and the blind spots of opportunity where this is where I got to attack. Like, I'll give you an example. I went back to marketing. I went back to my bread and butter, which I'm a good sales agent. I'm a good realtor, closer. I create sales for me and my small team. It's me, Jennifer, and Vanessa. I went back to marketing. Right now, I just shipped out 10,000 postcards to a just sold in a property in La Puente. I have one of my kids. He's in summer vacation. I'm paying him $25, which basically is his haircut, right? To go in and put rubber bands on another set of 7,000 postcards that we're shipping out on my farm here in Covina, right? I know there's I know I got to start marketing and branding. So when the market does shift and return, I'm top of mind. This guy wasn't, hiding in the bushes, deer in the headlights type of agent. Absolutely not.
And if I could add this too, there's that saying, I don't know who to attribute it to anymore, but for some reason Warren Buffett comes in my head, and because I know he's addressed it at least one time. When others are working off of fear, that's when you can find opportunities. So, but I'm thinking that through, like, what if you're a young realtor and you are watching this market where realtors are exiting, there's not as many sales, it's tough to get a sale, and you think to yourself, what the hell does Warren Buffett and other people like that mean? Like, I don't have the money to go buy a flip or whatever. I'll tell you what it means. It means that while others are exiting, you could be sharpening your skills. You could be becoming a better agent, so that when those people come back, you're way beyond where they
survive when they went back.
Right. Exactly.
You know,
that's the opportunity. That's a real opportunity. It's not. It maybe doesn't pay you right away money, but it will pay you many dividends if you stick to the discipline.
And part of the vision is knowing wealth building is not overnight, and it's not done in 1 year.
Right.
It's wealth building. Your legacy, what you create, is done in decades, whether it's 1 decade or 2 decades, 20-year period, right? It's that simple. Nobody gets rich overnight. Man, I mean, you hit the lotto, you're not rich. You have to pay taxes, half of that. You have no financial literacy, you're probably going to lose it.
You have to learn how to keep that.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So it's like that wealth building aspect of creating that longevity and generational wealth, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with the skills and learning and managing, just like any profession. It takes time. So if there's a newer agent, or I don't want to say rookie, but if there's a newer agent, not sure, play the long game. Keep your eye on the long vision. Okay, survive, thrive down the road. Absolutely learn saving habits right now, but more importantly, get systemized, get really good on that.
For sure.
All right. Now, talk about the mortgage rates a little bit. You know, I mean, there's nothing good or great about it. Refis, tell me. How's your pipeline? Are you doing good with refis?
No, I don't know. So I don't know anybody who's doing great on refinances right now. The simple piece of it is like, if I'm borrowing money right now at 3%. And I want to go, I've had several of these conversations. Hey, I want to do a cash out to go buy my next house. And you say, okay, well, that means that you have to refinance your current debt that you have at 3%. You want to add a balance to it, right? The cash out piece of it. And then you're going to have a new payment on the entire thing, and you're going to have it at 7%. And say,
sure.
Okay, if that's the case, people are like, what? Wait, what? What's my payment now? Of course, your payment has just gone way up. So that's the kind of conversation I'm having about refinance. I probably have 1 or 2 of those a week, because most people now kind of get it. You know, they've been through that.
And during the booming times, how many refi conversations would you have to compare?
I've always been a purchase loan officer, so maybe, as a maximum, 30% of my pipeline has ever been refinance, because I've always been on the purchase side of things. But it's palpable. There's a real difference. There are people who find you in really odd places. My neighbor used you 10 years ago. I saw you were on my friend's phone, and I called you, decided to call you. There's that much fever out there when the rates are great, that people will just kind of find you, and the phone just rings even without you trying. And so it's a very different type of thing. Right now, you have mostly people who want to buy second properties, right? There is a fervor around that. There is an interest to buy more real estate, and I would say that piece of it is probably higher than I've seen in the past, even when rates are great.
Where do you think that comes from, though? Is it because of online marketing?
Yes, exactly, online marketing. So right now, if you do any kind of real estate video or whatever, then you're gonna start getting flooded with that kind of thing online, whether you're on Instagram or TikTok, where a lot of this stuff is happening. And so those questions start to come up in your mind. And I think that's where the interest is being generated from, just based on the age of the people that I'm talking to and what they're saying to me. But then they find out what the numbers are, and they're like, oh, maybe it's not such a good idea. What about a home equity line of credit? Some people are having that conversation with me right now. Home equity line of credit is great as long as you get it under favorable terms. And in my opinion, if you are not a savvy investor that knows how to turn money quickly and know that you need to have plan A, plan B, plan C when you use money, when you use other people's money, then if it's just a thing where you want to buy a second home for yourself and you're not that savvy on investing, I would tell you, have an exit strategy for that money that you're borrowing on a HELOC, because HELOCs, they're adjustable for the most part, and they can change. That payment can change pretty drastically quickly.
I'm going to share something. I'm a little embarrassed to share.
Oh, you told me about this. Don't be embarrassed. This is a good play. But again, you're a savvy investor, so it's a good play for you.
I say I'm embarrassed because I wanted to try something. I've never really done this before. So I just finished a flip project completed. I already got paid out, that sort of thing. That's where my son made a decent return on his investment. I paid him about what did I say, about maybe 40% on his initial investment return, cash on cash. That's a great return. So he walked away about 20 grand positive on cash flow on top of his initial investment.
Yeah.
Okay. On this particular flip, I borrowed from 4 credit cards. I had 4 credit cards, 0 balances. And right around the same time, probably in May or June, April, May, I got hey, borrow money, 0 interest for a year. Do you ever get those credit card offers? Okay. Well, I was thinking about buying a property. I had money, but again, market's down, market shifted. I said, you know what, let me try something different. I went ahead and I wrote those checks from from the credit card statements, right? On my Discover card, I think I borrowed $19,000 at 0% interest, and they have a 3% fee. So I had to pay like $800 or whatever 3% is. Okay, pay that. That's their fee. One of my city cards, I borrowed $8,000. Another city card, I borrowed 11 or 12 grand, right? And then the 4th card was Vanessa, my wife. She got a statement, 0. We have 0 balance. I think I took another 11,000 from her. So 11, 19, 8, and 12, something like this, right? 19. I used all that money. I pulled it together. That was my rehab budget on this flip. Now, keep in mind, I had 3% here, 3% there. Initial fee, $800, $450, something like this.
Right. Relatively cheap money based, if you were to look at, if you were to have like a hard money loan on that same amount of money, probably would have been more
11%, 10%, 12%. I kept my capital in case emergencies, in case something popped up, in my bank account.
Yeah.
This is offers my credit card companies are offering. Why wouldn't I take advantage of it? At 0% interest for the next 12 months. Took it. We closed a transaction when I was on vacation. My kid deposited my check into my flipping account. Yesterday, when I came into the office, first day back, I paid off all 3 credit cards. Boom, 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 paid it on full.
Yeah.
I owe 0. Now, the only trick, and I know you would know this, I took a hit on one thing of my profile. What do you think that was?
Your credit score went down.
My credit score. I was probably at 730 prior to utilizing this trick, and I was keeping tabs on it. It went down to like 660.
Yeah.
But right now, I paid it off in full again.
So it'll bounce back.
And I know that. It's the name of the game.
The reason I said that, to begin, because we talked about it briefly, and you were questioning whether you're going to bring it up, and in my mind, I'm like, well, no, it's a great play because you accessed other people's money. In this case,
OPM.
Yeah, OPM. Didn't use it for free exactly because you had those service fees to pay for at the beginning, but still relatively cheap money. And what did that money? That money turned into more money for you, right? And you were able to pay them. So it's a smart play. The thing that I would caution people to be careful of is something Jose's already taken care of, and that is if he needed to pay those credit cards off because something went awry or whatever, he had the capital to do it.
Correct.
He had a plan B, a plan C, a plan D in place to take care of that emergency if it ever occurred. And so he felt freer to do that. I would caution, more novice type of investors that, that may or may not be a good decision for you based on whether you do have a plan B, C, and D in case something happens.
I wouldn't recommend anybody unless they're savvy and they know that they have the means.
Yeah.
Like for me, worst case scenario, let's say plan B or plan D, let's say. Property, I couldn't sell it. I had to do price reductions. Some, violation happened. I cannot sell it. I have the capital saved up in one of our accounts to pay that off. And to cover the debt to the credit card company. Plan D I would have rented out the property, right? If I couldn't sell it. So I do cover every angle as much as I can control, if you will. Now, fun fact, you're not aware of this. Today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow sometime, I'm going to reach out to these credit card companies. Once I check clears, hey, I need to ask for a credit increase. I legit have no reason. There's nothing that I want to go buy or invest, but I want to keep my options open for the next opportunity. So I think on my Discover, I probably have a limit like of 25 or 30,000. Maybe I want to go and ask for maybe $40 or $50,000 limit on it. So next time I could borrow up to 40 or 50 grand from one card. And I'm going to do that the same with the 4 and see where it takes me so I could do this over and over down the road.
Fun fact, do you know what's going to happen if they all say yes?
My credit score is going to go up.
Your credit score is going to go up.
I know that.
All right, very cool, very, very cool. Now let's talk about a different fun fact. your ass just came back from Spain, and I want to know how you were able to walk away. Because I know you, when you're in it, there is a certain level of attention that you feel your business deserves, and it's a high amount of attention. So when I speak to you on a daily, I can see you're like right now, I can see your eyeballs going back and forth, and I know your brain's moving along. Maybe not even necessarily what you're talking to me about.
Yeah.
You might be like 2 meetings ahead of what we're discussing.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, how did you get your ass to Spain with a phone that you, according to you, didn't even work a lot of the time?
Right.
How did you get there and not drive yourself nuts?
I've learned to let go, Ernesto. I think the simple matter is we all have social media. I'm able to text. If I wanted my phone to work, I would have to go to one of their phone shops there in Europe. I was in Spain. The service there is Vodafone. I think it's called Vodafone. That's the service. I'd go there. I'd buy a chip. I'd insert in my phone, and my phone would work like it does here. I didn't want to pay for that. I don't need that. Why? I'm 9 hours ahead. So when you guys are up, I'm asleep. And when you're asleep, I'm up middle of the day. Okay. So I knew that, my business can run without me. I have the whole team here that they, on my voicemail, if you can't get a hold of me, call Isa, call Jennifer. Stuff that I needed taken care of, I would text somebody. But to be honest with you, Ernesto, in 2 weeks out there, I probably text 5 or 6 times at the most. Stuff that I needed to get done or were important, but I've learned to let go. And the best way that I can describe it is I have a great assistant. I have a great sales team, Jennifer. I would email or she would get emails of the leads that came in from Google and our CRM and our marketing, and that was it. To be honest with you. So I've learned to share the pressure, and because when I'm in here, I'll take the pressure. I'm 1,000 miles an hour. Let's rock. Let's build. Let's do this. But when I step away, I need time off, man. I need to kind of what's the right word? Kind of reconnect with my spouse, reconnect with my vacation, reconnect with fun away from the office. And I don't know. I don't know how to share, like, hey, this is the secret way to do it. You just got to know that, okay, my body needs it. And
I guess maybe as a backup question to that, do you think it takes work to be able to disconnect? Like, do you earn the right to disconnect, or do you think everybody should just automatically? Because I remember I was telling you right now, that I remember being on a trip with my whole family, a van full, like we were traveling with 3-4 families at the same time. We had a van full of adults and kids. And I remember driving through the jungles of the Yucatan Peninsula, taking calls from this realtor that I still love her to death. But I remember taking her calls and thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Right.
I have a similar story. Tulum, maybe 4 years ago, we went. And at the time, I was busy. I was in sales. I had like 3 or 4 flips going on at the time. Actually, it was about 5 years ago. And I say 5 years because it was that year I had just bought my house 2 months prior. So I remember it was 5 years ago. And my current house where I'm at. I was doing a flip and I got a call from my contractor.
Yeah.
Hey, Jose, the city came to the house flip, and it's also here in Covina. And they red tagged your house. You have to demo this whole back patio that you build out. I invested heavily, windows, siding, reframing, restructuring, didn't pull permits. Long story short, city came, contractor called me. It ruined the last 7 days of my vacation in Tulum because that's all I could think about. But there was nothing that I could do. Zero. Because I needed to verify what they wanted. I wanted to talk to the city official, but they weren't taking calls. I had to go in there in person, right? So, I realized at that moment, okay, if I'm going to enjoy my career, enjoy my vacation with my wife, family, kids, then I got to create real leverage and share the responsibility. How do you do it? You hire good people that are able and willing to run your business like a business with or without you there. And the best way I don't know what book I read this, when you go to McDonald's, Ray Kroc,
right,
is not flipping your burger anymore.
Right.
When you go to Starbucks, when you're having your coffee, shout out. Starbucks. Schwartz, I think his last name is Schwartz, the CEO.
Yeah.
The guy that started it. He is not serving your coffee, right? When you go to Nike, try on shoes. Phil Knight is not giving you the shoe. Did you like it, sir? No. They're running a business from a top of some floor somewhere or on vacation, and they're creating that business opportunity for the marketplace.
Right.
And I think I learned to embrace that. And my team can run with or without me. That's the way I see it.
Interesting. Very cool. That's the answer I was looking for. You did pay a price.
Okay.
And that's what the price was having to lug your wife's luggage around. Wow, funny. Lug and luggage. Now I get where that word comes from. And now you come back with
a sore neck, back spasm.
I
can't turn that way. Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed it, but I've been grimacing every time I get my cup of water right here. Apparently, my wife did. She didn't take a carry-on, so she had the big luggage, the one that we check in.
Yeah,
but we have a lot of family members, moms, dads, uncles, teammates here at the office that Vanessa wanted to buy and bring souvenirs.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, she has no carry-on. So where do you think these heavy items went?
On your back.
Her luggage. We didn't buy like a carry-on bag in there. I'm lugging around, loading it. I'm a man, so I'm not gonna let her lift or carry anything heavy. But that's me. So I
do know your wife likes lifting, right?
Yeah, but I think she does it all for the gram. So yeah, she likes the strong, strong. How do you call it?
The appearance of strength. Don't say that.
no, not appearance. Oh my God, that hurt. Yeah. So the lifting, the lugging, walking to the Uber pickup station. I realized yesterday when I couldn't sleep, like, what the hell? Everything was hurting. So yeah. Shout out to Vanessa and your 2 50-pound luggage bags that I had to carry her.
That you are now suffering from back spasms.
Yeah, that's it. By the way, Dad's house. Let's wrap it up with the Dad's house. A flipping question.
Yeah.
So my kid made 20 grand. 20-year-old. Do you think that's a good return for a 20-year-old?
I think for a 20-year-old kid, the $20,000 actually sounds like the world in terms of money. Maybe. I think that's a hell of a return. He had his own money to invest.
Yeah, because he got that back plus 20.
No, but I'm saying he made his own money to invest. Is what I'm saying. He didn't get that as a gift from you. It was through his own effort that he was able to invest that money that brought him the $20,000 return. And then he took advantage of a great connect, aka his dad, to get him into a flip situation.
He goes, hey, he'll tell me, hey, so we ready to go buy another flip? Are we ready to go buy another?
Yeah.
I say we, Kimosabi's too many people. but yeah, so the good thing is, I try to help him when I could and when there's opportunities. Now, you had a flip recently.
Yes.
Without going into all the details, that was your first flip where you were hands-on.
Yes.
How long?
Never. So every other time I had been in a flip situation, it was I had put money toward a flip that somebody else had found and they needed a partner on. So I came in as a silent partner.
Just like my son.
Yeah.
He's a silent partner and he got his money returned. Okay. What are 2 or 3 tips that you could share? Because it was kind of I don't want to say it was a nightmare, but you lost a little bit of money.
I did.
We're not going to talk about that part, but you lost a little bit of money. What are some mistakes that you learned? Because everybody wants to flip. I get questions. Teach you how to flip. Hey, I want to flip houses. So how do you get started?
So let me first say the way I break it down in my own head is it was a very expensive school, but it did teach me a lot. It did teach me a ton. Number one, what I thought was going to be the tougher part of it, which was the permit process with the city of Los Angeles, because we needed permits, was not that big of a deal, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It was painful here and there, but to be honest, they have a pretty efficient system for handling permits. And the toughest part of that piece of it was really dealing with the inspector, and he wasn't that bad, just to be honest.
Okay.
And another big lesson from it was contractor. You have to vet your contractor thoroughly. Vet your contractor. I went out on a limb with mine because I was looking for my contractor. You had referred me your contractor. That guy was too busy. Somebody else had referred me their contractor. It turned out to be your contractor, etc. So there was a lot of flipping going on at the time, and I was looking for a contractor that I could rely on.
Yeah.
I found that guy. That guy might actually be worth the money I lost on this flip, because now I know that he's dependable, with high quality, quotes well, is timely, etc. All the things that you want to look for. I wish I didn't have to go through that first step of working with a horrible contractor to begin with, but I found the guy that I'm going to be working with going forward, and that
so
by
when
itself.
You started the road, when you opened escrow, you had no contractor.
I had contractor referrals, but even my partner on the deal, his contractor, there was nothing to like there for me, because he was really flaky. One of them actually was really flaky. Like when you got his quote, it was like, scratch piece of paper type of stuff, and just the kind of things that I didn't want in my contractor, right? My contractor, just like the guy I'm working with now, that contractor delivers a professional quote, and then he sticks to the quote, and then if something goes wrong, he will come stand behind his work.
Right.
You know, nobody wants to come and expend additional time and money, but if something goes wrong, you can have a conversation with this dude. So anyways, long story short, the contractor vetting, very, very important. If you're going to go out on a limb and find somebody that's not recommended by anybody that you know, I would tell you that that's a heavier risk than you might want to do on your very first flip. You know, what else did I learn? Patience, a lot of patience. Oh, and that patience has to apply to if you do have a partner on the deal, better make sure, like I did, that other person on the other side of the deal with you is of sound mind, is not going to lose their shit just because this went south or that went south.
So your partner was good or not good in this respect?
I'll tell you right now, I would do another one with my partner.
Oh, okay.
Because both of us remained level-headed the entire time, and it required a lot of patience to remain level-headed. So if you're going to do a deal with somebody on a partnership basis, I hope it's somebody that's got, you know, a calmer type of demeanor, or that you know that you can speak about really difficult stuff, and the conversation will remain fruitful.
That's a great point. I don't really preach. You know, I have the same two partners. You know, I don't want to mix it. You know, and one of them is my kid.
Yeah.
Right. And the other one's a contractor that I do business with. But that's it. Just because I know their temperament, and we could have the tough discussions, and you know, tough. Not that we yell at each other, but they're tough. You know, and we don't hold them personal.
Right.
We move on, get the job done.
It is a school, you know, for me it was, at least. I don't know. And coming out of this cycle of real estate, I've talked to a few people actually that were in much worse situations than I was. And none of them that I know of anyway are ever not going to try it again. They're going to try it again, just like I'm going to jump back in. But everybody's learned lessons that they're going to take and move forward. And that is the thing about investing, especially investing of this nature. Once you become more aware of the things that you have to be aware about, the risks get diminished for people, you know, like us, because we already know.
So the magic question to wrap this up is, to flip or not to flip, Mr. Ernesto, in 2023 for you?
I think at the very beginning, flip very cautiously, and then once you have a good solid footing, then you know, maybe get a little bit more riskier. But understand, you know, for me, it's always about the numbers. If the numbers pan out, there's probably money to be made. And if the numbers don't pan out, don't think that you've got some magic formula to make the numbers. You don't. Yeah.
All right. So that's it. We're going to wrap it up with that. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Again, please subscribe, follow us, share, comment, and stay tuned for, I don't know what episode, 13, 15?
I think 15.
I think it's 14.
I think it's 14, I think. And anyways, all right, let's go.
Subscribe, follow, give us a like. More importantly, if you like this, share it with somebody, and engage with us, guys. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Yeah.